Okay. All right. Now, yeah.
All right.
So yeah, I'm very fine.
You
So
even
yeah. So
but it's not you even.
yeah. But you get flow that
I radio eater.
Yeah, you radio.
Radio.
Yeah. So Fresh Boy is gonna come and he will let us know the guy.
But I'm Fred Boy gonna speak from you.
Yeah.
He frisky. He has Fred Boy. The two are no three. A Fred Boy, the Stungre, the Boko.
Yeah, man.
Three bitches.
Yeah, cause
No, I'm very with him, man.
yeah. How was your weekend, man?
Brian, we know all right.
Yeah.
We know all right.
Yeah.
One senator and you will cost me, man. One senator.
Sound like so good.
Tomato sub with bocha. Honorable. I told you as I was butting. Guy go butt before
Your party today?
No, I visited a party on Saturday, you know, and I went to watch him play, score a free kick. And that free kick now, if he's in Jonathan Beckham. Oh, he scored a beautiful free kick, bro.
Where's the?
And I book a mission fee.
Yeah.
Oh, tomato subweight.
Oh, the president.
Yeah, after my own party, I went over there and show me how you do the wheelchair go from there.
Yeah.
I went to in Jonathan in Prairie Ground, and he scored a free kick. Right? He scored a free kick now. Whole day I can hear about the free kick. You know him. I know how to go give out the money. I was praying for another school. Imagine, I told you, I said that free kick. I go give out. I want to give it for 2 beer. He said, Allah. No, but the free kick was. He had too much precision.
No, but listen, man. Charlie. That's it.
Brand free kick.
You know, I mean, I don't want to deal with it a whole lot, but
You be free skill.
let's talk about Charlie. No, not small player.
But that let me tell you something. You know, but when Sam Sumo left, Sam Sumo left Invincible 11 to go to the United States.
Yeah.
Tony Briswell,
Young Briswell.
young Tony Briswell, tried to fit in the void. You understand me? In the striker position. Then Invincible 11, the administration of Invincible 11 decided that they would go through a rebuilding process. Like, you know, like something like rebuilding the team.
We are going by that time.
We are one there. We are not going. We are what? Yeah, God was coming, bless. We are not the blessing was coming.
Yeah.
But we are the winger originally. We are not striker originally. You can call. He was not a striker at the time. Though we are playing on the right side. Ezekiel Doe on the left side. So that build up brought our club.
Break dance up.
Tap.
Why did you mean break dance up?
He was slick. He had moves, and the body, he has a lot of body work. Not like Caro. Damn it, he had a small thing, man, straight between your bed, straight bevel, two. Rubber club. Then the broader young prodigy from Bonman, Sogby Jonathan from Bonman United. Damn it.
Very shit we eat.
Perfect shit. When they brought him, then they just put the icing on the cake and brought an imported Muktasila from Guinea because Ezekiel Dona transitioned to United States. So they brought Muktasila to the left side. George we had to the right side. But I have Barogira, Madrid.
Wow. Yeah.
So you had George we had to the right side. You have Muktasila playing 10 or 11, and you have Sogbe Jonathan playing point striker. If I'm not mistaken, first big game available there, we scored twice. Sogbe. From there, but then they make a crazy. The men went, they fought international, if I'm not mistaken, tend to be erected. He played in Guinea against Horoya.
Yeah, Horoya.
Away, damaged them.
Horoya, small side.
No. Horoya, that's small side, man. Damaged. Horoya had a fast semi-final in African Club Championship. Yes. He beat them. Who and in way. So with Jonathan. So, yeah, but stay, I let them mess with him. You got things, oh, you are a good player, and what do you think? Oh, Brandon, so don't cause him because of me.
Yeah, but the thing about it, Papi, when you talk about challenge scoring goals like that to me, it's not. Papi, look, when you go to Aztec,
you know anybody go?
yeah, and let me tell you something. So we went in.
But I'm not working.
Yeah.
All kind of people here now. I'm not working.
We go. What the guy doing? I sent him out, man. The $50 to pop.
Because when they mention me money, where the money? I want to know the name.
Yeah.
Me you go forget about the money. They mention your father money to do some serious thing. You forget about the money. Me go. He's a good man.
Yeah.
He called you as a reminder. Yeah. Hey, but me go enjoy me into anything you owe and banana. Yeah. And my son and where you are doing you want thank you all. Me go the whole world cover. Head of whole and what I made me vex. Why don't we propose I wanted to bring my bigger with them, but no way. You know what? Because DJ what the problem with solution. I think they have to go solution 1, 2, and 3. Solution. The problem. But we are solution. We solve problem. Yeah, we solve problem.
Okay.
Brother Benson, I'm going for nothing. What is it?
Yeah. So anyway, Pop.
No, we go.
Trevor, yeah, nothing you can do there. That old man, you cannot. We go. So
why are you that day?
A couple of
we got you on the show.
A couple of days ago, we was having a conversation here with Sammy Carter. You know what I mean? Of course, one of the
Mama friend.
yeah, one of the best voices Liberia have ever encountered on the airwaves. And one of the conversation was how Phil the radio spectrum is right now compared to those days. We have only with 3 radio stations.
Yeah.
Active.
Yeah.
Active back then.
And one of them was actually Kiss FM, right?
Yeah, Kiss FM
Yes, the president. And it's a funny thing here. What I'm about to do because today, just like we started the last time,
Yes.
was the movement of the MPFL to Monrovia.
The Exodus.
The Exodus from Gbanga to Monrovia.
Yeah.
Now, Kiss FM, Liberia News, January 15, 1997. This is such a something.
Good morning from Liberia, the news read by Senwe Johnson. In the headlines, the United States Embassy near Monrovia says the U.S. support for Saturday's elections takes the form of direct assistance to the electoral process managed by ICOM and indirect support to key elements of the election process itself. The Carter Center has noted with serious concern that ICOM has said this week's elections will not be postponed, and any threat in this direction is most inappropriate. NPP Standard Bearer former Councilman Charles Gbanga Taylor has spoken of plans to improve the social and economic welfare of the people of Grand Bassa County. With 4 days to the run-up to general and presidential elections, sources close to the United Nations headquarters have revealed that Unity Party Standard Bearer Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, instead of resigning her UN job, only requested and received a 6-month leave of absence in order to allow her return to her assignment in the event that she loses Saturday's election.
Wow. Oh.
Yeah.
What?
So now we could
And the man that reporting the news, he's
part.
yeah, he's part, you know. Yeah.
They being arches.
Yeah, peace be active.
So Charles Taylor
Yeah.
resigned his position as a councilman in the 6-man ruling council. It's the council of state.
Yeah.
This news was few days before the general election of 1997. Now, the prerequisite to running for presidency at that time, you had to resign whatsoever position you had in government or whatsoever you were before you run for president of Liberia.
Okay.
Now, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf at the time, who had a United Nations job,
Yeah.
was only giving a 6-month leave of absence. That means to run a campaign and wait for election day.
Okay.
Yeah. We were wrong. We were wrong. We were against the prerequisites set for election.
So that was totally wrong.
It was wrong. It was wrong. It was unlawful. It was wrong.
But then what? So after that, there was some murmuring about her.
It was no murmuring, but nobody called to book to say no, you cannot do that. You cannot do that. You have to resign your job and all the things. They never did it.
Oh, okay.
And you understand where we go? They just say, no. Some people just talking it. Started up people talking it. No. But I think the reason the Taylor camp did not make a big issue out of it was because of their confidence they could have won the election, whether anyone was over the UN or even the White House at that time.
Yeah.
So we go continue the news.
Okay.
And in direct support to key elements of the election process itself. The Carter Center has noted with serious concern that ICOM has said this week's elections will not be postponed, and any threat in this direction is most inappropriate. NPP Standard Bearer former Councilman Charles Gbanga Taylor has spoken of plans to improve the social and economic welfare of the people of Grand Bassa County. With 4 days to the run-up to general and presidential elections, sources close to the United Nations headquarters have revealed that Unity Party Standard Bearer Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, instead of resigning her UN job, only requested and received a 6-month leave of absence in order to allow her return to her assignment in the event that she loses Saturday's elections. In Algeria, a bomb has ripped through a crowded market in the country.
Yeah,
I don't know. The brain that God gave you is extra. You just made mention about that.
Yeah.
In the news, like you said, I think Ellen wasn't a threat. So
no, she wasn't a threat. She wasn't a threat. You know, and I think that's what Taylor did not make an issue.
Yeah.
You know, they didn't make an issue, but it was only mentioned. They lazy. It's supposed to be like this. He's not supposed to be having a job.
You're supposed to resign.
You're supposed to resign. And the UN knew the law because it was the United Nations in collaboration with the Organization of African Unity at the time and ECOWAS that brokered the peace accord in Nigeria, in Abuja, that made Taylor to leave the bush, to leave Gbanga and come to Monrovia to work in a 6-man ruling council. One man who was the head of the 6-man ruling council was a neutral man in person of the late Wilton Sankawolo, a professor.
It was the same 6-man council that the late Oscar Kuya was part of?
Yeah. Oscar Kuya, or Joe Bole, Ahadi Krumah, Charles Taylor, yeah. And Sankawolo was the only member of that 6-man ruling council who was not a militant or a warlord.
He was neutral.
He was neutral. Or at least that's how it seemed.
Yeah.
And that's what they hired him as the chairman.
Chairman.
And all of that, Taylor, Bole, Krumah, Kuya, all of that was vice chairman. Yeah. But you were giving, they were stakeholders and giving positions according to the status, whether they were in the majority, like the MPFL was bigger than ULIMO.
I think all depends on the territory
you occupy,
or the men you control.
The men you control, that how they give you your position. Yeah. So that what happened. Now, with Taylor, with elections on the horizon, a lot of things will come up. You know, politics will go. A lot of things will come up. So that was one of the major topics that came out.
That touches more.
That you test them. Yeah, that topic testing because we overlook about what's zero. What if Taylor now? What if now? This is a what if. What if Taylor had lost the election? Or what if Krumah had lost? What if Ellen had won? If Taylor had lost, Krumah had lost. You know what we're gonna be like?
What's gonna happen?
So the Syria were gonna go. Because then they were gonna say no, the protests were gonna come in the election. They were gonna be a head up or hell of Baloo again in that building. But thank God you were the boy wonderful. Taylor won it by over 73%. So that they had a whole thing die. And Eric continued her job with the nation. And left that job on her own chance.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, let me continue with the news part.
Like it's small because that Ojiro been one brain and bomb that driving Ojiro borrowing. Yeah, okay.
Elections. The release said American support for Saturday's elections takes the form of direct assistance to the electoral process managed by the Independent Elections Commission and indirect support to key elements of the election process itself. According to the release, the U.S. direct assistance to ICOM includes technical support in the form of election specialists and the International Foundation of Election System, commodities such as office equipment and supplies, transportation and communication. The Carter Center has reaffirmed its strong support for free elections in Liberia and for the Independent Elections Commission in its efforts to ensure such process. A release from the Carter Center says it notes with serious concern that ICOM has said Saturday's elections will not be postponed and any threat in this direction is inappropriate. The release also quotes
Carter Center,
Carter Center. My son,
yeah, Baba.
the Carter Center is a non-governmental organization
That I know.
set up for good governance, humanitarian aid, logistical aid, a whole lot of different assistance by the late by former President of the United States, Jimmy Carter. Now, if you listen to the news just now, the election commission that we call NEC now was called the Independent National Election Commission, led by a man called the late G. Henry Andrews. The Carter Center, through assistance from the United States government.
My friend D. Common Pape.
Hey, Henry Andrews, he was a very good journalist. The Carter Center, with assistance from the United States government, helped the Liberian people by providing logistics for the election of 1997.
Okay.
That brought Chancellor to power. The special elections that brought Chancellor to power. Go to the library and go, and I'm talking to Blue, and do heavy.
The center as saying it has observed elections in 12 countries in similar transitional phase, and on the eve of such an important moment, it is natural for the people to be anxious and uncertain. According to the release, former U.S. President Jimmy Carter is expected to lead a large and important delegation to Liberia in support of the democratic process in this country, and has encouraged registered voters
on the day
to participate in the process.
On the day of elections in Liberia, in fact on the eve of elections, of the election day, Jimmy Carter arrived in Liberia. I was just telling Miko Bonet and the Liberian people about America's role in the Liberian election, but through an international NGO called the Carter Center. You understand me? The Carter Center owned and operated on an auspiciate of former President Jimmy Carter of the United States from Georgia, where you grew up. A farmer, a politician,
Plains, Georgia.
from Plains, Georgia. He was the one that provided through.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
That provided through the assistance and collaboration of the United States government, logistics for the election, from stationery to transportation, all the things, people, all the things.
Wow.
Yes. The election that Taylor won against the power. Now before you came here and been in the library there, brother. Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, a contestant in the election of 1997, at the time had a job with the United Nations. And by the law of the Election Commission, the Independent Election Commission, all candidates were supposed to resign whatever jobs that they were doing.
And I sort of like the.
But Ellen did not resign. Ellen asked for a leave of absence from her position in the United Nations.
In the United Nations accepted it.
And the United Nations accepted that. And they helped to, they even endorsed the law that said that you got to resign before you all the things. They knew about it. But then they speak heavy Siri and all the, no, she can get a leave of absence. In the beetle, she can come back to her job. The job wait for her here. You understand, right? But I think I did know. And only because, now, but I'm not campaigning because I no need in jail forever and what it is. But it was not fair to Taylor. It was not fair to Alhaji Vamoyan Gagzim Kruman. It was not fair to the welfare government who go to for here and where, or where, the other man. Not people there when we got 6 votes, 5 crew people in here. But one man, when they here and where, I didn't tell us saying education, when they just go there. Yeah, but it wasn't fair. But these are the things that could have brought tension. But people did not make any move because they did bring people. Actually, before the election, they knew who they wanted to be president. That was Taylor. That was Taylor. For whatever reason, I cannot tell you. Some people said they were scared. Taylor was going to go by the bush. We were not true. Taylor did not have the military capacity to go back to the bush. That's what people don't understand. And one day I hope you let me go in there. Yes. So nobody was scared.
Yeah.
The show and I have been scared if they are known.
Yeah.
Yes.
And well, the reason why I play that is the 1997. This was 1997, right?
That was 1997, and Taylor came to Monrovia in October of 1995.
Yeah.
2 years, almost 2 years prior to election.
Yes.
King here, he worked as a part of the 6-man ruling council and all the thing as a vice chairman of the 6-man ruling council, with Sankawolo as the head of the 6-man ruling council and all the thing. And yeah.
So, just as we promised our audience,
Yes.
you know, usually when you send us these messages, then we go on ahead
Yeah.
and see if we can do it. I think we did this series before, but I guess, you know, when people call it actual, we got to do it. People want to know even that led to the exodus to Monrovia
Yeah.
of the MPFL Charles Taylor. We're going to get this, and we got to do it. We got to deliver.
Yes.
And
And I think this will be better than even before.
yeah, really.
Yes. Oh, Bobo,
Yeah.
you know me. As I get older,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I get sharper.
Okay. And another one here says that right before the exodus was the Operation Envelope.
Operation Envelope was 10 months prior to the Exodus.
Well, Operation Envelope had to take place before that.
Envelope had to take place or there would be no Exodus.
What led to? Can you summarize what led to
The recapture of Gbanga is and the recapture of Gbanga was termed Operation Envelope. So if there had not been any Operation Envelope, Taylor would not have come to Monrovia. Right. Definitely, he would not have even collaborated with ECOWAS. Yeah. He would never. He would have been ranting and going off, extremely upset. And now this is what happened. Right. So in August of 1994, ECOWAS leaders, including Jerry John Rawlings of Ghana, Gnaisengbe Iyadima of Togo, Nubusu Soglo of Benin, or whatever name from Senegal. Who are there in Senegal right now? Oh, good Paul. No, not Leopold, not even Abdul Diop. More Oakley Papi were there. Oakley, one side yellow bright, one side yellow bright. You know, yeah. But anyway, brother. Yeah. African leaders, West African leaders, ECOWAS leaders, decided that the Liberian war, the Liberian crisis, had reached the point that it was boiling, and if nothing was done, the nation was going to perish. Liberia was going to perish. You understand me? Yeah. Liberia was going to get so embroiled into turmoil that Liberia was going to perish. So they arranged a meeting on the Volta River in Akosombo in eastern Ghana, where leaders of West Africa, either them or people that proxy for them, that means people that represented them, met on a luxury cruiser, bro. Yeah. People were in the hotels in Accra and Akosombo, but they go on a ship for the meeting. And they decided that they had to, these warlords would have to meet to come to one agreement. One more call, August 1994. The meeting was final. The date of the meeting was finalized. Everything. I think the meeting should have been on the 9th or 10th of September. The meeting was slated for either the 9th or the 10th of September 1994. So Charles Taylor left his headquarters at Gbanga, Central Liberia, Bon County, on the 7th of September 1994. Please write them down. The meeting in Akosombo, when I want to see you writing, the meeting in Akosombo was slated for either the 9th or 10th of the 9th or 10th. That I cannot remember clearly, but I remember it was either September 9 or September 10, 1994, in Akosombo in eastern Ghana, along on the Volta River. Of stakeholders in the Liberian crisis, warlords, and everybody, and African leaders and all the proxy. Taylor had to leave because there was no airplane flying out of Gbanga. You understand? Taylor had to go to Cote d'Ivoire, take a flight out of Cote d'Ivoire, man to be expected to fly out and go to Ghana. You understand me? So Taylor leaves about 2 days prior to the meeting to meet up with his schedule, and I'll be tired and I'll be late and all kind of things.
Like we drove, right?
He drove. He drove from Gbanga to Man, Cote d'Ivoire, and then flew by Air Burkina, a charter flight, to Ghana. Taylor leaves Liberia on the 7th of September 1994. On the 8th of September 1994, rebels of the Ulimo K faction attack and capture Gbanga. But I allow what you talking now. Taylor leaves on the 7th of September 1994, headed for Akosombo in eastern Ghana.
To go talk peace.
To go talk peace. Thank you, my son. Taylor's headquarters, the central Liberian city of Gbanga, is attacked by Ulimo K forces and subsequently captured. Taylor in Gbanga. I mean, Taylor go Ghana over. Ulimo attack Gbanga. Ulimo capture Gbanga. But Ulimo did not capture towns and villages completely around Gbanga. You understand me? Like Turuta, the outskirts, Turuta, or whatever the name, in Swako Court, and all the things.
That's why it's
Kwatawola, Kolita Wola, on the outskirts. So that was the MPFL first checkpoint in the Battle of Gbanga. Let me make this very clear to you. Kwatawola. In English, you say Kolita Wola. No, Kwatawola. When Tadeko and talk and say Kwatawola, when you finish saying Kolita Wola, I hate you. Yeah. So, Taylor's NPRAG, National Patriotic Reconstruction Assembly Government, was dislodged from Gbanga, brother. In less than 7 hours. In less than 7 hours, Ulimo K had taken Gbanga easily.
How's the operation?
Well, but the operation actually came by way of Lofa, from the Wenshu end, from Lofa Road side. But then there were also heavy artillery and RPG fire especially, coming from around the water tower, around the police station area, that area they call Brooklyn Community.
Yeah.
So the capture of Gbanga, it confused the MPFL.
But that I heard there was some element of conniving.
Later on, subsequent investigation led to some executions to over 20 some more MPFL or Tabra.
Because people are saying that Ulimo just couldn't come and take over an MPFL fort as easy as they did with.
Yes, but later on it was also found out after Hare's Row, after people died, investigative report also stated that the Ulimo unit that entered Gbanga was forced out of Belefana, and there was Belefana, you know Belefana, Tower Plantation, Tower Farm, yes, yeah. Belefana. They had no way out, and at the bus out, they needed breathing space. And that's why they were swept out of Gbanga easily by the Liberia Peace Council, who came by way of Kokoja.
So they're there for a little bit.
So Ulimo is in Gbanga for about 3 to 4 days. So imagine now, the peace talk going on. Taylor got the news. Taylor did not say, oh, I got an emergency back, my headquarters, I'm being attacked, I'm leaving the meeting, I'm going back to Liberia. No. Taylor remained in Akosombo. The MPFL seat of government came to Ganta in Nimba County. So the MPFL was operating from Ganta, Sanikwele, Yekepa. I'm talking about major towns and small in between, all the small in between. But the major towns, MPFL seat of government operating from on the road now were Ganta, Sanikwele, and Yekepa. So the MPFL gets pushed out of Gbanga. The Liberian Peace Council takes advantage of the fact that the Ulimo unit in Gbanga is not a big unit. And so that unit gets attacked by the Liberian Peace Council. Chobole from way of Kokoja. Because the MPFL, Angola forces and all the other guys who were in our Kokoya duo or area then, which were Kuku Dene, Reginald Balloon, or Daniel Chair, or J.Y., Junior Wemo, or Friday Kubuga, Chani Jabo, and Kuku Dene, right? All guys, yeah, Reginald Balloon, Gonda, all guys. So those guys were hit hard. Now supply could not come from Gbanga to them. So they had to carry on scatter gorilla tactic, hold on to the few civilians they had, you understand me? And try to hold, just soften the ground and relax and watch the show. All only on hopes and faith. By then, Samuel Vani, the late Samuel Vani, Sabila, and Moses Blah, the late also, who was Chief of Staff of Army Division, they were around that Wiala area. Wiala, as far as told the Army Division on the highway. Sarah Joning, Oruga. They were under pressure from a group from Monrovia led by the British Samoga on the beginning of the coalition.
Yeah. About took by them.
Madison took by them. Who were claiming to be the people that overthrew Taylor. They said they overthrew Taylor. And they called and said the Supreme Military Council of the MPFL. But now you getting me? Along with a man who Taylor sent to Monrovia to represent the MPFL in Monrovia when UNIMIL were here by the name of the late General Benedict Batua. But now you have to clap small or I didn't make it.
And I won't buy it.
But then what you gotta do?
To hell with Grabby.
So the MPFL have been betrayed from all flanks.
Yeah.
The MPFL have been betrayed from all flanks. Marine Division, Chief of Staff, the most respectable Chief of Staff Marine Division ever had, Nathan Gay, had quote unquote connived.
Yeah.
But he had been killed by his own men.
Why they kill him brutally?
They killed him brutally. They lay by on the street, man. You know what they gonna think? In Uganda, they brought him by the back and they lay on the road. You understand me? So Marine Division had to regroup and work in collaboration with Army Division. So then you're talking about Melvin Sobani, the late, but forget about Sobani now, Emmanuel at that time. You talk about George Makosa Dwana, Jack the Rebel, General Mission, Save the Nation. Yeah, you talk about Peter Duo. You talk about Sava Nomo Amoeba. You talk about his brother Sano Nomo Abatarigo Grand Dulu coming in from Kelebe into Gbanga to help with the operation to restore sanity in Abatarigo Grand Dulu Sano Nomo.
What do you mean?
But that's Sano Nomo. Sano Nomo alone was a whole air force. Meaning that when Sano Nomo era, Alpha Tactical, Grand Doodle Ball, Sano Nomo, senior brother of Siapa Nomo.
Late?
No, Sano Nomo Levi. Sano Nomo Levi, Siapa Nomo Levi. That's the younger brother, Sui Swiss no more. But that's about a different story.
Hypothetical going through the war.
Yeah. So then you have so the NPFL were trying to hold the grounds in different areas,
Waiting for
Taylor to come.
Yeah.
So we'll hold it small until Taylor come. So you had JY from 1st Brigade, Junior Wemo. But he my girl, yeah. Tell me, you will love it. Oh, but Junior Wemo. But when you see the man, Junior Wemo said, no, they want to quit. Civil life, educated, smaga. Junior Wemo, JY then, holding it. Jack holding it. Sabina, Samuel Valley, drink a lot of kids, you smoke
on
Jogisua, but holding it, but they're not flush coalition. But FPC and Ulimo battling in Gbanga. So Taylor remains at the peace talks. Charger there, Siri Allen, Orugad, Tom, where were you in Morel? Oh, Shashuni, you know, Tom. We will bring Taylor down and all the things, send Doki, lovely super woo, all the papere. Taylor said, okay. But after 14 days after the capture, imagine Taylor how it went. 2 weeks.
December.
Taylor had to fulfill his obligation at the peace talk. Then Taylor returned. Taylor returned in at the end of September. 1 week to the end of September. 1994. Taylor arrives at Lugatuo. By then, some MPFL top hierarchy, top brass has started to abuse the situation, killing innocent civilians, all the team, Junior Gordon, Junior V, Oruga, causing problems, JJ Dotte, Oruga. It's that time bitchable. Taylor arrived. So Taylor came through Cote d'Ivoire, you understand me, and drove by road. Logatuo, drove to San Kwele, drove to Tabeta, drove to San Kwele. No, not Tabeta, sorry. Drove to Logatuo, came through, drove to San Kwele. Not complete, Papa in all the places. From Logatuo, you come in straight, you come in, the first place you get it as Zogo, I don't know, you're on San Kwele on a road now. You come straight to San Kwele. Taylor got to San Kwele, from San Kwele, Taylor to Uganda, and Taylor established his base at the United Methodist Mission. Because you know, Methodist people got a big mission in Ganta, hospital, school, high school, dormitory. Or Ghana Methodist. Taylor arrived, Taylor settled. Every general are misbehaving Taylor dirty, you first to say example. Ujugulari. 30. But then the late Lieutenant General, Chief of Staff or the Executive Manager, Presidential Guard Force, EMPGF, John Cassius Jacobs, were on a house arrest. This was September 1994. Cassius, Barada and Nanaki Ojulari, the Chion V, Chion Go, all the guys, you know what I mean? But Cassius was in jail. On a house arrest, on the American camp. You know, everything already. So Taylor now decide now to sit down and put a plan together. How can we take Gbanga back? But that FPC sitting down in Gbanga now. They jelly. But FPC have one point of entry and one major exit. One major point of entry, one major exit. Now I put the word major. Hell of a mistake. They were using Kokoya. And from Kokoya, and you go from Kokoya Road to Kanye Gbanga, and you use that same road, you go all there now. Remember the guy don't be got yellow. Lango train track running over there. There's a route from there to go straight to Grand Bassam. You get that place and on that route, you get Chani Jambo. You got Reginald Balu, Konda. Damn it, Friday's Kwibuga, Chani Jambo. You see a cross eye more than the Chani Woto in the Chani show. Friday Kwibuga, he on that route. You got Christopher Bamo, Mosquito, he on that route. Yeah. You get who's in the background, just give me order for execution. Tanya chair, order to God, the on that route. LBC cannot go towards and Lofa way, no, they cannot make it. They cannot even go to forget about Lofa. If they can go Lofa way, they can make it because you remove there. And like I told you, the Ulimo unit that enter into Gbanga, they could not get reinforcement from Lofa because when she was under the MPF though. And then they were being trapped to also in development. So they could not go by Lofa. So they just fight till the death. Army Division and Marine Division had taken over the highway from way of Totota. You understand me? So Samuel Vani on a highway, Jari Rabo on a highway, Sarah Johnny on a highway. You can be in between and in between. Yeah. Chris Roger, auto picking.
Let's talk about the plan.
So, Taylor.
I heard he took his Bible and put it down.
Taylor called a General Mustard in Ganta, Special Forces Italian 1 team, Special Force John Mansu, Special Force Saddam Siwa, Special Force Rose Gbanga, Zimbabwe, Special Force Augustine Way, Special Force Seboy, Special Force Saint Secret, Special Force what about Edward Mlan, Oruga Johnson Lehman, Oruga call all the Special Force, foreign Special Force, all of them, Musa Injai, all the people, Jackson Money, Oruga, say listen. The only thing we can do now to take the guy out of Gbanga and take them out of Gbanga forever. Gbanga is environment. We will have to cut off the supply routes, the supply route from which they are served in Gbanga. Because if you don't cut, you limo off from Lofa, you don't cut or whatever name, you don't cut LBC from Kogoya Road, you don't cut and coalition, we got to keep coming, we got to cut them off. Only way we can cut them off is to cut them off from the source. That means you want to kill a snake, cut off the head.
The body that rope.
The body down the rope? Nothing the body do. So the MPF did? The MPF attack all the sources. MPF attack Kokoja seriously. Katu. MPF attack
no probably go ahead. How you do that?
Attack Wiala. That whole Wiala, you know, that whole area there, that when Kakata winner,
yeah.
They bring over flare all that shit, they attack it.
Yeah.
Anywhere they know enemy at the pressure, Operation Jungle Broom, that kind of thing. Jungle Broom, anyway, Jungle Broom was doing auto cover. Sorry. Jungle Broom, yeah, but it was like a Jungle Broom. Jungle Broom, and we use Jungle Broom, you know what TD and all the things, but different story, different thing. So it was a general attack, Marine Division.
They're not attacking in
Gbanga. They're attacking all the outskirts of Gbanga. Okay, I forgot to call one man name for that. Paul V. Monami. You got Monami. Oh God. Bruce Gbanga, Zimbabwe. Oh no God. Yeah, no, you're picking and I can't get that there. You want to pick it. Yeah, the Stanley. Yeah, Bush Commando, Stanley Jean. Oruga. Oruga battle. Or not picking, he died in every city. Or Livingstone Duo. You're not smart picking. Montalvo Division.
Yeah.
Oruga. The battle. December 1994. So check them, do the marble, right? September, October, in October, starting in October, October, November, December. Christmas Eve, December 24th, 1994. MPFL unit.
My baby, we got to take a break and we'll be right back with more on the Keep It 107.